July 1947, Roswell, New Mexico. Wreckage found in the desert outside this small town is believed by many to be a UFO.
The question is, are UFOs real? The answer is yes.
For years, controversy has grown about what really happened here that summer night. Now, a decorated ex-U.S. Army intelligence officer has made a remarkable claim. He says that not only are UFOs real, but that the U.S. military harvested advanced technology from them. He knows this, he says, because he held the technology in his hands and saw alien bodies from the Roswell crash.
The humanoid-type body came from the Roswell area where there was a crash in 1947.
Why should we believe him? Because of the man that he was, the years of service that he dedicated to the United States of America, and the fact that he was considered one of the top military men in his field.
Who is this person? What did he do in the past? What were the things that he has said in the past that have come to fruition?
According to Lieutenant Colonel Philip Corso, he was responsible for bringing alien technology to military labs and civilian scientists. And they used it to make lasers, fiber optics, integrated circuits, night vision image goggles, and bulletproof vests.
We are looking at crashed flying saucers, or ones that are shot down, and we're trying to figure out how they work.
Others are skeptical that alien technology jump-started the military-industrial complex.
That's a peculiar kind of lack of self-confidence in human ingenuity.
I found that Philip Corso wasn't telling the whole truth about a number of things.
Is Philip Corso's story the fantasy of one ambitious intelligence officer? Or does he confirm that a UFO did crash at Roswell in 1947, and that it launched a secret military program to push alien technology into mainstream development? Summer 1947. Major Philip J. Corso is on patrol at the Army base at Fort Riley, Kansas, when he encounters something that will challenge everything he knows about heaven and earth. Corso was a career military man, a respected intelligence officer, and an artillery commander with his finger on the nuclear button. But inside a crate in a deserted building, Corso swore was a being from another planet. Corso would publish an account of this and other revelations in a book called The Day After Roswell, a New York Times bestseller when it came out in 1997.
In one of his book signings, 5 colonels came to him and verified that my father was right on with everything that was written in the book.
Corso died in 1998. But the material he presented in his book is still controversial. Now, for the first time, the full story of his military career and his startling UFO allegations are being told on television. 1942, the year after the Pearl Harbor attack. Philip Corso, a small-town boy from Pennsylvania, is drafted into the Army. During World War II, he trains as an intelligence officer, and afterward, at the age of only 29, Corso becomes a spy hunter in Rome. His mission, to seek out and terminate Soviet agents.
When the United States Army occupied Rome, what they wanted was make sure that the post-war government would be a friendly government, not a communist government.
A position with a lot of authority behind it. The man was regarded as an up-and-comer.
By April of 1947, Corso returns to the United States for additional training at the U.S. Army's Intelligence School at Fort Riley. 3 months later, in July 1947, comes that fateful night when he claims he has the encounter that shakes him to his core. 32-year-old Corso is the post-duty officer, an assignment that puts him in charge of security at the base. That evening, Fort Riley is buzzing with rumors. 5 trucks containing debris from a mysterious aircraft accident in Roswell, New Mexico, have arrived at the base in Kansas. Corso, with his training as an intelligence officer, is intrigued by the shipment. At about 11 p.m., Corso says he enters the building where the Roswell shipment is stored. A guard on duty tells Corso that he has already looked into one of the crates making up the shipment and cannot comprehend what he's just seen. Corso then says he has a look for himself.
And he sees these, they look like coffins. They're little, they're like kid coffins. Can't figure out what that is. So he goes and he picks up the tarp.
It looked like a thin body, and a humanoid with a sort of a big head on it and eyes, but not too long. And not, the shape of it was not as wide, as I say, as our bodies are.
Corso says this was his first encounter with extraterrestrials, but it would not be his last, nor his most significant. Later, he would be given top-secret files and alien artifacts that, he claims, would generate a new technological world order. But in 1947, that day was still a decade away. The outbreak of the Korean War in 1950 puts a hold on Philip Corso's ruminations on extraterrestrial beings. Corso joins General Douglas MacArthur's staff as an artillery targeting specialist for UN forces. After the 1953 armistice, he remains in Asia, serving as an intelligence officer repatriating American and Allied prisoners of war.
I came to know Phil Corso because he had been a special projects officer in the Far East Command for prisoners of war under MacArthur, and then later held the same role and capacity for the National Security Council as a staffer in the Eisenhower White House.
According to his military records, in July of 1953, Corso is promoted to the rank of lieutenant colonel. He says he is a trusted advisor to President Dwight D. Eisenhower, informing him of what Corso asserts is rampant KGB infiltration within the CIA.
And Corso was screaming about this in the National Security Council to Eisenhower.
Corso states that Eisenhower rewards him with his own combat command. In 1957, military records confirm Corso is placed in charge of an artillery battalion at Red Canyon Missile Range. By October of that year, Corso commands the battalion in West Germany, where he develops new targeting strategies for nuclear strikes.
He's shown he can do the one thing, he'll follow orders, but he's shown initiative.
He had sole command of a nuclear weapons battery. Now, in the event that war would have broken out with the Soviet Union in the 50s, when Corso was in Germany, he would have had sole authority to release his nuclear weapons.
But after Corso returns from Germany, his career dramatically changes direction. The gifted intelligence officer, fearless spy hunter, and artillery commander who controlled the world's most powerful weapon now becomes a reservist in the National Guard. In October of 1960, Corso is virtually in retirement, a part-time unit advisor to a National Guard base in Maryland.
You could say it meant that some people were displeased with him, but it's just as easy to say he didn't have what it takes.
But Corso's supporters believe Corso is being groomed for his most important and most secret assignment.